to another brief discussion on local issues going around the area today, and I am joined today by the lovely Richard Kerry from Suffolk Coastal District Council, and we're discussing several points. And this morning we are discussing Tesco's new supermarket developments and also what's going on with Felixstowe Academy. Now, for those of you that don't live in the Felixstowe area, there's a lot going on down there at the moment, and Richard here is going to talk to us about what he can really, because there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Sarah.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you for joining me.
No problem.
Straight on with Tesco's development in Walton in Felixstowe. Tell me about that.
Tesco's, obviously we all know the proposed development for the site there. At the moment, no planning permission has been put into Suffolk Coastal District Council. I think the word on the ground was they were hoping to get something in by the end of the year. But as far as I know, that's not progressed any further than what we've already seen at the public consultation.
They've done an archaeological dig there, I know that much.
They have,
that
yes.
That a few feathers when they've done
but at the end of the day, if you own a piece of land, you can invite someone to come and do an archaeological dig.
Yeah.
We all know that probably if planning permission were granted, not necessarily for whatever they propose now, but for anything else, the council would ask them to take an archaeological dig before they did anything. So, you know, perhaps that's the cart before the horse, but they're entitled to do what that's their land, they can do what they like with it. Exactly.
Now, opposite there is the Felixstowe Academy.
Absolutely is, yes.
Up and running. There's a very good one in Norwich up and running.
Yes.
How is the academy coming along?
Well, it's nice to see now. We had a bit of a hiccup that I think my county council colleague Graham Newman knew about, that the land was transferred to somebody else.
Yeah.
That somebody else then got taken over by the academy, and they forgot to transfer the land back to them, so there was a hold. All things being equal, it's all been done now. The people have moved back in again. The roadway is going through the field.
They're making really good strides.
They are indeed, and as far as I understand, they've broken soil on the academy site as well.
Right.
So the building works have started in earnest.
So obviously the completion date originally was going to be the middle of next year. So
it was.
I reckon that's been pushed back to.
I should imagine that may be 3 or 4 months now.
3 or 4 months longer.
Exactly, because we've had that break where they were trying to transfer land back. But it's nice to see.
The railway bridge, do you know if they've sorted the access over the rail?
Well, there's been a plan come through for a new crossing in Trimley, which is at the back of St Mary's or Stennart's Close there,
right.
And also I read at the same time there's going to be one to cross over so people coming down from the Morrison's end of town can cross the railway there. So as far as I know, there's going to be 2 footbridges, one in Trimley at the bottom of Gamers Lane.
Squeezed in there.
Yes, yeah. There's been a problem there. I think they're going to close another footpath further up because it's dangerous for people to cross because it's on a bend.
Yeah.
And they're going to put another footbridge for horses to go across at the bottom of Gamers Lane to meet up with Keeper's Track. That is a popular piece of track.
Cut the whole town in half.
Yeah,
almost, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
On the road now,
yes, and I think that everything like that's been sorted, so no problem.
Now, rumours down the grapevine, lot of discussion on public forums, another new supermarket proposal in Felixstowe.
Yes.
Now, obviously the resistance to Tesco's in Walton has caused a lot of debate and a lot of campaigning.
Yeah.
How come there's been another supermarket put forward? How is that getting around that? You know, people want to know how is this actually happening.
Well, at the end of the day, there's a piece of land or pieces of land, and to be fair, the agent who has secured the plan permission, which is now in, they have, I think that was in a multiple ownership, so they've actually secured that land off more than one owner. Obviously, I suppose the biggest owner would have been Network Rail, one would assume, but there has been other owners that they have purchased land off, so they now have the whole site.
Because it's situated right next door to Felixstowe Railway
Station. It is indeed, yes.
And that's right next door to the co-op.
It is behind Solar and Homebase.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I suppose technically it is a brownfield site that possibly houses would not be built on, because it's beside the railway line, it's behind other properties. And the plans have come in for this new supermarket. Yeah. And I went to the public consultation at the Waverley, along with many others, and had a look at the plans, and it looks doable.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, everybody's entitled to put in a plan of permission on a piece of land that they're owned. I don't know which supermarket it is, no one does.
I was going to say, is there any clue as to who that
be? But at the end of the day, you could probably say it won't be Morrison's or it won't be Tesco's.
No.
So that leaves a door open for
Aldi.
Whoever, we don't know.
We don't know.
No, because the actual plans have been submitted by an agent who are working on behalf of a supermarket group.
So if that was to be built, I mean, the objections raised obviously is the car parking, because there's a solar car park there. I mean, is that going to change the way that they pay? You maybe have to pay for parking, or if they put
No, the new supermarket, obviously the access for the deliveries would be through Garrison Lane. If you remember, there's a piece of land where at the moment there's some woodworking going on. Well, they've bought that piece as well.
Right.
A rumour has it they've made an offer on the first 2 houses as well. Next to that,
residents there.
Well, you don't know. So that might be hearsay, but if the planning goes ahead, apparently they've made an offer, so they would then own the access for the goods would be from that traffic lights, and the access for vehicles would be via station approach,
right,
which is access to that car park, but the car parking would actually be underneath the proposed supermarket development, so you would drive underneath your car parking.
It implies that it's quite a big chain, doesn't it, for them to be able to acquisition all the land and everything?
It does.
It kind of implies it.
And not being a person, not a planner, but the conversation was that it would be bigger than the footprint of, or the floor space would be bigger than existing Morrison's.
Because when we originally had Lidl's built, that was part of the fulfilling the requirements of the town.
It was.
So, I mean, do we need another supermarket? It's the question that keeps being raised with Tesco's and everything.
Absolutely, yeah.
How could they possibly build one?
Well, you're correct. When the Lidl's was built on the old bus station site, that fulfilled a survey that had been done into the retail study for Felixstowe, and that retail study said that Felixstowe probably did need another supermarket. We have that with Lidl now, so yes, but how do you justify it? People will say, well, they can justify it because in the LDF, when it comes to fruition, 1,750 new homes are going to be built in Felixstowe in the next 15 years.
Yeah.
But they're not there yet. They haven't built any new ones yet. But then again, they haven't built a new supermarket yet. And if they've got planning permission, doesn't mean to say that the diggers would be in there the very next day. You get a period of time before you have to develop. So they could say, well, yeah, we've got the planning permission, but we'll wait until a few more homes are built. Yeah. And then we'll start construction of the supermarket. Who knows? The other new development, Hamilton Road in Felixstowe. Yes. Lots of new shops popping up. Yes. We've now got another 2 charity shops, which I thought was a bit surprising, and a pharmacy on the way, a 24-hour pharmacy on the way, I believe, top end of Hamilton Road to the post office. But there's a building been sat there for quite some time, the Candlers building. Yes. Lots of discussion on that. Are we getting a Waitrose was one of them? What are we getting in that building? Can you answer that question? Yes, I can. On the weekly list, planning permission has been put in for a change of use from the original, which was a furniture shop, and it has now been a change of use to a restaurant. A restaurant. Yes, so it's from furniture to restaurant. And there is office space at the back. Is that 2 separate different companies? At the moment, the planning permission I've seen is just for the change of use for the shop. Okay. And whether that encompasses stuff at the back, I don't think it does, because it's just a change of retail to restaurant. So that's what they're going for at the moment. So obviously then they will advertise that premises with permission for a restaurant. And the rumour is that would be Prezzo. Now obviously the immediate one, everyone's objections to that was, do we really need another restaurant in Felixstowe? That's an Italian style one. Got quite a few of them in town. Well, yeah, we have. And I can think of one particular restaurateur in the town who'd probably object quite heavily to that. I'm sure they would, but then again, competition is competition. You know, at the end of the day, I don't know what Prezzo, what there are. I guess it's a national chain. Prezzo is really quite popular. I mean, the one in Woodbridge does phenomenally well, and the one as far as I know, they're in London, and I've heard that people go there, and they do. That they're a top quality Italian food outlet, pizzas, etc. Yes. They're not a takeaway. They are a go-in, sit-down restaurant, but they're a franchise. But then if the one in Woodbridge attracts a lot of people out of the area to Woodbridge, there we are. I mean, I myself am planning to go to the to the Prezzo's in Woodbridge, and then we'll go around and drink in the other establishments. At the end of the day, the other guy who has got the restaurant across the road, he's going to have to sharpen his pencil, isn't he? You know, he's got a little independent pizzeria up there. You know, will it have an effect on the little I don't know. No one
Who
can
knows?
say.
But
But at the end
President
of the day, you can't turn a planning permission down because you can't.
Somebody in the road.
Yeah, you can't stop competition.
No.
You know that's not a planning policy. Or we can't allow that because you'll be the fourth restaurant in Hamilton Road. Everybody finds their level.
Yeah, there is a rumour, and this has only been a rumour for a while, that the Lloyd's building on Orwell Road, which some argue is Hamilton Road, rumour has it it was a Wetherspoons
yes.
at the building.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, has there been any
No,
link to that?
as far as I understand, that someone made some inquiries to Wetherspoons marketing department, and their answer was they had no plans at the moment to come to Felixstowe.
Which is a shame, because I actually would
Yes, it is. With the old Miller, which was St Jude's closing down, which had a real ale on offer, there isn't a lot of, in the town centre, you've got the Grosvenor around the back, and you've got the White Horse, which is now a foodie place, and then you've got to go up into Walton to find a pub. You've got the Birdgate, I suppose, on the seafront, which is a pub.
Well, you've also, I mean, the other thing as well is Hamilton Road is a dry high street for the
Yeah, but there was always
there's always a...
I think at the end of the day, I think back in the 70s, Felixstowe Town may have been before Suffolk Coastal Day, that they made a covenant that them sort of establishments couldn't be built in Hamilton Road.
But it'll be Orwell Road, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, whatever, I know, yeah.
I mean, I personally would like to see something else happen in the high street that isn't a charity shop or a coffee shop. I mean, I have to be brutally honest, but in my opinion, as a younger person who would like to spend more money in Felixstowe, there is very limited spaces where we can do it. So, I mean, I would welcome almost any suggestion.
But the conversation we had the other day when we were talking about the pier, if you get a visitor attraction that brings the people in, and you know that you're going to bring people in, then people might think, well, there's an empty shop here, we've got an opportunity. But the old adage is, we can't get the people from the prom, the older people, up to the top because of the hills.
Back to Felixstowe Futures trying to link it together. Hopefully they can do that before the end of their term, but that's another conversation for another day. Well, thank you very much for coming and chat. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
Lovely.